Hey, you're listening to iFanboy Pick of the Week, episode 1004. I almost said 10,000. 1004.
Wow.
There's zeros there. I don't know.
I fell asleep.
I am Josh Flanagan, and this is my co-host, Connor Kilpatrick.
How long would it take us to get it to 10,000? So it took 20 years to get to 1,000. So 200 years?
More than, I mean, what we would have to do is renumber everything
And come out 3
sequentially.
times a
Every
week?
show we'd ever done, include that in the count, and then do it 4 times.
Well, every show we've ever done is still only 2,000 something.
Right. But we started in 20 years, so
I think 100 years.
It'd be 80. Will we get 2,000?
Yeah, it took 20 years to 2,000.
I'm going to go ahead and feel fairly safe in saying it's not going to happen.
We're not going to hit 10,000.
Nope. That's
Sorry.
Nothing. It's good. Where was I? It's iFanboy 2025. We kind of buried the lead on that one, actually. Yeah. It's 20 years of this podcast, 25 years of our website, iFanboy. Which means 20 years of anybody paying attention. That means that for 25 years, every single week, one of us has picked the book that they like best from their weekly stack of comics. We call that the pick of the week. We will talk about that generally for 10 to 13 minutes. We will talk about other books that came out this week, and there were many. The Patron Pick. Not so many, but there were many worth talking about. So this was a difficult thing. There will be listener mail. It should be a good time. There could be spoilers, so you're warned about that. If we're talking about a book and you haven't read it, we might tell you something you don't want to know. But it'll be good though. That's what I'm saying. It'll be worth it. Even if we spoil it for you, be like, you know what? I can't hold it against them. This week, Connor had the pick.
I did, and much to Josh's consternation, I'm a man of great holiday spirit, and despite the fact I think this book came out 1 week too early, the pick of the week was Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular #1 from Marvel Comics. Rainbow Rowell, her first pick of the week this year. I was surprised to find. Art by Luciano Vecchio, Paco Medina, Nathan Stockman, and Bob Quinn, formerly Bob Q. And this, I love a holiday special. I read all the holiday specials. They're usually pretty bad. DC's comes out next week. But this was delightful. And it was delightful, but also I loved the fact that it gave Rainbow Rowell a chance to show off the fact that she can write everyone, because this book basically features all the main food groups at Marvel. The story is that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, doesn't have holiday plans, and so he bounces around between the different groups, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Daredevil, the different groups at Marvel, trying to find a home for the holidays. And she nails all of it. She nails them all. We got a She-Hulk Jack of Hearts cameo even in the Avengers party.
I noticed that.
And they got like a specific shout out about being there. But I know that She-Hulk didn't sell great, but like, give her a book. Let's see what she can do. Give her a big book. Because these are all great. The characterizations of stuff is awesome. The story was heartfelt and heartwarming. It was really well constructed. All of the things of the part where Peter starts to feel like he's just being a charity case for these heroes to entertain during the holidays, and then the X-Men are like, no, we like you because you're fun and people enjoy being around you. That's why everyone wants you at their party. And it was just really nice. Over the years, they've sort of made Peter and Logan like secret best friends, which is strange, but is a fun contrast.
I did like that there was a continuity to that, and I didn't immediately go, well, because they do an issue in like Amazing Spider-Man every once in a while.
And there was an issue where they hung out like every year, like on the same day they got together at the bar. Like I don't remember what book that was in, but like they've been doing that for a while.
I feel like that was Joe Kelly, but I don't know.
And we both dropped off of Uncanny X-Men. The teenage characters annoyed us, but I really love them being like big fan boys of Spider-Man. Like that was fun. There's just lots of fun elements. I'm a big fan of the regular clothes on top of the costume trope, and so Peter shows up with the tuxedo over his suit. It was great.
It was delightful in every, and then there was actually
it's a great tuxedo.
So often we don't talk we don't talk about the masks or the costumes or just sort of what they are, and then or a secret identity, and then he's like, you might want to wear your mask, and he's like, why? And he's like, well, do you want everybody to know? He's like, fine. And I was like, oh, I felt bad for him right there. Yeah, like he doesn't know if he can trust all the people or whatever.
He just wanted to be Peter, and they were like, You don't.
I gotta say, and this is high praise. If you can put a book with Gambit in it, and I'm not annoyed by him, you've done a good job.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't. There was. I mean, maybe like anymore. There was a baseball game.
Yeah, they play baseball. Yeah.
There's the classic. Basically, it's very low key X-Men. You could even say Avengers, but X-Men crossover baseball game like they used to have regularly. No, I think you're right. I actually wasn't gonna read it until it was an early, like might be the patron pick, and I was like, oh, I'll get it ready, and I was like, oh, it's Rainbow Roll, I'll check it out, and yeah, I want to say this was maybe the first thing I read, and I just walked away like, oh, that was delightful. I very much enjoyed it. There were 4 artists,
but you know what? They were all of the same style. That even though I knew they were 4, I'm usually pretty good at picking out who's who.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, Bob Quinn has a pretty distinct style, but even so, they were all sort of that same kind of Marvel cartoony, not cartoony, but I don't know. I don't have the words for it, but they have the same kind of style, and it all worked really well. The colors by Matt Miller were really nice. This is a 4-color book, right? This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is you did send me this photo. Well, before I'd read it, of the Avengers party where
is that the Avengers party? That's the
Avengers party.
Yeah.
And it's framed as such that Kitty Pryde is there. No, it's a Fantastic Four party. It's a Fantastic Four party.
Yeah.
And Kitty Pryde is there, and she's holding a round piece of food right at crotch level.
It's a latke.
Latke. Oh, right. Latkes.
By the way, excellent drawing of latkes.
Right at Bobby Drake's crotch level.
Uh-huh.
And it's very
like it's
on the nose.
It's too weird to not be on purpose. And then I was like, why? I was like, he doesn't, like, they didn't show his
only have one ball.
I don't know. It's quite small.
One large ball.
It's a small. It doesn't. I don't know. It's very weird, and I couldn't. And
if it was a pack, it'd be small, but it could be one large ball.
Yeah.
But you get little moments. You get Bobby with Firestar, so you have Spider-Man: Amazing Friends thing. You get.
I noticed that.
You get Clint. Trying to put the holiday moves on his ex Bobby, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." It felt like Rainbow got to do all these little Marvel fan moments in these parties, because we talked about this all the time. We never get these kind of things used to happen in the regular books. They'd have parties or social settings, and there'd be romance and drama, and this is like everything we've wanted to see smashed into one book from all the different character groups.
It was occurring to me as I was reading. But did you see Devil Dinosaur, by the way?
Yes.
Just peeking in the corner. I was like, oh, you got it all in there.
Plus the supporting cast from She-Hulk, those two Inhumans were at the party.
Yeah. And I realized looking at this, and I hadn't before, is like Johnny's mustache has been a thing. And so I am looking at his mustache through the eyes of a person our age who's like, that's what weirdos and Earl and dads do. But I was like, he's actually kind of the age where he would just have one now and it'd be normal.
They all got him.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Gen Z doesn't realize they're styling themselves and dressing like our parents.
There's just our dads.
Our parents in the 80s. They're all wearing the high socks and the mustaches. And like, you look like my dad in 1984.
And maybe that's a power move. Maybe I'm a little intimidated.
I don't think they realize what they're doing.
I think that the Avengers party I think that's Bob Quinn. Because that was the one that I noticed. I was like,
that one looked
really
like
cool. Yeah. I thought his costume designs were fantastic. Like they had like ball gowns that were sort of like their costumes. Yeah. Like Carol looked really cool, and then Peter had that awesome tuxedo. Like he looks great there. Like it's just a great design.
Even his gloves on.
And everybody's like turned up a little bit, like, so Tony Stark is acting like that guy at the party. Hey, we're gonna ski, whatever. Just kind of like, okay, it's too much. I think the other thing that I liked about this was that so the idea here is that like Peter is a cool guy, but he's also a bit of a loner, and he's in his head all the time, and I know that there are certain types of people who kind of are always thinking that everybody's thinking bad about them.
Well, he's a cool guy. Doesn't realize he's a cool guy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But
he still has. None of us ever really get over high school apparently, and he thinks he's still that guy. And everyone is coming on really strongly when he gets there. They're like, "Oh, Spider-Man's here," and Hellcat's like, "I'm throwing a rager at New Year's. You got to come." And Thor's like, "You got to come hang out in Asgard." And he's like, oh, they all know that my aunt is gone on a cruise ship for the holidays and I'm all alone. They're just being nice. But then the reveal at the end is no, they're not being nice. They all want to hang out with him because he's awesome.
Well, we only know that about the X-Men. But,
right, but everyone, and
I know, I get it. I'm saying, but there's also
a cool turtleneck at the end. It looks like Steve McQueen.
There's like an element of like he doesn't like he still doesn't feel like he really fits in a way, and also like they're all, and so like one of the things I thought was really interesting is that each time he talks to a new person about hanging out with them, he's like, yeah, I think I'm actually doing something with whoever the last person was. And I was trying to be like, is he just saying that so he doesn't have to, or is he just not sure? I don't know. I think it was interesting because I think that, and this is me projecting, so there's no basis for this, but there's probably a lot of comic book writers, and having talked to Rainbow and other people, like you didn't, a lot of these people didn't grow up as the cool kids at school and went to parties, and so you get into comics and you kind of are a cool person and you don't know it, to a certain demographic of people. And I feel like there's something here where they experience, like, you go from somebody who's just been by themselves all the time writing in a dark room, and you go to a convention and everyone wants to talk to you. It's got to be the weirdest thing.
Your autograph, and get your photograph, and it's like, whoa, and then you go home and no one cares.
Yeah, exactly. So I really liked that scene for those reasons. I thought the Daredevil story was really fun.
Yeah.
Just because of like the forthrightness of Daredevil, like, well, why are we breaking in? Well, they got to believe in some magic, and I was like, that's really sweet. It was good.
It was just full of amazing character stuff from her, and we've known she's great. She-Hulk was great. Her Runaways book was great, and she can now do all of them. She's proven it. She can do the Fantastic Four. She can do the X-Men. She can do the Avengers. She can do Spider-Man. She can do Daredevil.
She can do Superman.
Right. I'm saying, like, in this book, she makes it clear she can handle the Marvel Universe. So why not let her try? Like, do it. Why not? Nothing else.
Because right now, Jed McKay is writing all of them.
That's true. He's got 15 kids to feed. I don't know if you realize that.
He's got pictures of somebody. But
it was sweet, like the ending when May decides to come home and she and Peter have the holiday he really wants to have, which is like hang out with his aunt, have cocoa, do puzzles, and that's kind of what I do with my mom on the holidays.
Right. And that also says something about like the kind of person that one guy is compared to everybody else, is like, oh, we're going to raid your party. He's like, yeah, he's like, I kind of want to hang out with my aunt and just the two of us and have cocoa. Like, that's what gives.
But then they do go on a cruise for New Year's, and that's where he lost me.
I didn't. Yeah, no, I know. Actually, I didn't understand. That was my one bit of confusion, because she said, I rebooked. And they did that. And I was like, well, wait, why'd he go? Was he supposed to go before? Did she change her mind and decide to bring him? Or?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm not down with the cruise ship.
Also, by the way,
that's great. I'm just
if you look behind her, they're all old people. So it's like a retiree cruise.
That's the cruise she would have gone on.
Yeah.
And so,
I guess she's dating that one guy. Yes. So she wasn't going to be hooking up with any eligible silverbacks. That's a gorilla. What do you call them? Silver
graybeards.
Nah, there you go. That's the one. Of whom George Clooney is the alpha.
Yeah, well, obviously. So this was great. I was really happy when I saw her name originally. You can't trust solicitations. You can't trust the websites with the listings because. I read one book this week that had listed Steve Orlando as a co-writer on the Marvel app, and it was just because he did something in the back for one page. So you never know. And so I thought she just did a story. I thought it was going to be a bunch of shorts, and I was so excited to see she did a whole thing, which got to tell a complete tale and really satisfying, and I loved it very much. But
it kind of was a bunch of shorts.
Oh, it totally was, but it was. It told a complete emotional arc of Peter's over the holidays. Yep. And that's what the holidays is you bouncing around from group to group, party to party, and you're exhausted, and you want to see everyone, you want to give everyone time, but you really just want to be at home and have no one bother you.
I would say again, I don't know why Bob Quinn doesn't work more. He's fantastic. Like, I think books that they figure we can only use Steve Lieber on, like, this guy is right here. He can do that.
Look at the face acting. He's great.
I know. Look at the face acting, like on Thor. Like he does that kind of drunk happy face. Yes. Hey, that lidded.
He's always been good at exaggerated acting on his character.
And everybody, like all the girls, like their dresses, they look cool. All the men, like it's really neat. Anyway.
Yeah, Tiger pulled a sexy move on him. Let's talk about One World Under Doom #9, the final issue of this Marvel event by Ryan North and RB Silva. I thought this ended really well, and I thought this was a very satisfying ending. I thought it was a very satisfying event. I'm curious what you thought, because you were sort of on the edge about how Doom was and what, him as a character. And obviously the ending of this book is not the ending of his character. He died.
Yeah. I think it was a great ending. It because I feel like and depending on the book, I don't think that actually happened in One World Under Doom, but like he just went back to being full arch bad guy on some things, and it can be difficult to align that with this guy who loves this one kid. But I thought that that affection for this kid was couched in such a way that it really made a lot of sense, and it sort of squared with at the end. You're like, okay, I get this. Like at the end of it, the way that it was, and he won't do anything for anybody but himself except this one person.
And that's interesting.
It is, and it's also like you see this a lot with like characters who have romantic love, but it isn't. It's well, not parental so much.
Well,
It's
he's your godfather.
yeah, it is, but it's not
paternal.
even like it's his own daughter. It's the daughter of his greatest enemy, but he like
His greatest enemy, but also his once best friend. That's the
yeah, but also like he respects her too. Like he just recognized instantly, like this is a person who is worth respect, and he respects nobody. It is tough to pull that off for a writer to make that character, because luckily they can keep her as a kid, so they don't have to prove that. It's like shows that like about stand-ups, and you're like, no, your stand-up has to be really good. They never are like, as long as they keep her a kid, you'll be fine. Otherwise, you're gonna have to make her really impressive. But I liked the last scene an awful lot. I didn't really know what was gonna happen. Like when he said he sacrificed himself, I was like, it didn't occur to me that he would kill him. It just wasn't. Like that's what the Living Tribunal would want or whatever. But it was just it was very Doom. Everything was over the top and really big, and he had to go to the, the biggest god he could find, the Living Tribunal. Living Tribunal?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Living sounded weird when I said it out loud.
Yeah. Well, the names are funny. In the last issue, he accidentally killed Valeria. There was an explosion, a bunch of shrapnel. One shrapnel took off her leg, the other one cut her throat, and so here he, that was the cliffhanger. Here he uses his magic to put her leg back on, and I love all of this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm always a big proponent of use your cosmic wacky button, press it, fix people.
Yeah,
that's how these things keep going. I mean, I think it was Dan Slott when we interviewed him at Jim Hammond's Universe a long time ago who said that I can always press the cosmic wacky button, and I was like, perfect. That's how it should go. But so he puts her leg back on with magic, but she's dead. He can't bring her back, so he goes and takes her into the cosmos and faces off against several of the big Marvel cosmic characters to try to revive her, and he has to give something up. We don't know what it is until the end, which is his life. But then the middle is all fallout from the war ending, and it's all very uncomfortably close to the world we live in, where some people are like, yeah, fuck that guy, and then people are like, hey, we need a strong leader who.
That oneness is sorry, I don't really follow politics. I was like, woof, that's rough. It's an emperor took over the world, but and then finally, like the read at the end,
right?
I really liked where he was coming. Like, I'm not because you feel like, no, that's his daughter. And I'm not gonna help you in any way. Like, he's
there's in the very beginning, the second page, he's put a bubble around. Doom's put a bubble around them because he's going to transport them into the cosmos. But on the outside of the bubble is Reed and Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And they've seen their daughter cut to ribbons.
Yeah.
And it was a really great drawing from RB Silva of Reed's in so much anguish. His features are like all over the place. Like he's lost control of his body. That's how much anguish he's. And that was really great.
It's like the Ralph Dibny way back.
Oh yeah, the melting face with the it's a great way to show that he's no longer in control because he's in such anguish.
Yeah.
But then you're right. That final conversation. This was, by the way, this was very close to also pick of the week. It would have been this or Spider-Man. And the conversation between Reed and Dr. Doom, and then Doom handing Reed his mask, as he disintegrates, and then inside the mask is his last will and testament, which we only see part of. And then we find out that old Stephen Strange can't catch a break, because in the post-credit one-page sequence, which I think was the one written by Steve Orlando, because he's writing the book, now the Sorcerer Supreme is Scarlet Witch. It's not. It's Strange can't catch a break.
Can I tell you something that's bothered me about Scarlet Witch for a long time?
Yeah.
She's not a magic user.
Right. She's got a hex.
She's a mutant with the chaos magic, and they changed her into an actual like witch at some point.
That was the movie
as part of that group. I don't. It's not right. And I think I really looked at it and I was like, I don't want her. I make it Doctor Strange. I don't. This is the thing. It's Thor without a hammer. It's whoever. Like, just let Doctor Strange be the guy. It's been a long time. Give it back now. Just because I don't know.
It's been a while. It's been at least a year.
Yeah.
He did make sure to cure vampirism on his way out the door, which was nice of Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Because that's where this whole thing
But in a way that still kind of said, fuck you. I think we were talking about acting in that other book, and I think that one of the things I was very impressed with is Reed's face and body language as he had that conversation with Doom. Like, it just, you could see he just was over it. Like, his eyes are kind of, he's trying to pay attention to this other thing. But I thought that he really captured like a mood there. It's pretty subtle. I might be seeing it.
I've seen a lot of criticism of R.B. Silva's work on this book, but I think it's great. I think he's a terrific artist. I mean, he's not like in the upper tier of all the best artists, but he's a completely solid artist with some subtly strong stuff going on here.
I like it a lot, but I don't like how it's finished, because it looks very computerized and perfect to me. I feel like if these lines were pencils, I would like it more. And the way that it's colored makes it look like fully digital, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. If you draw digitally, then it's not bad that you can see it. It's weird, a lot of people try to draw digitally and make it look like it isn't. But because I see that, like, it's a little perfect, it's a little shiny, and I wish it was. But like,
almost sneezing. There he goes.
Sorry. Did I get to the button in time?
You did.
All right. But all the important stuff, the bones, it's all there.
Yeah.
I just don't like how it's finished, but that's just,
I totally understand. It's got a thinness to it that a lot of art has nowadays. I don't know if I'm sure he draws digitally, everybody does, but
I'm positive this is digital. No, if nothing else, it is inked and colored. Like there's not much there, because all the finishing work's being done digitally.
Let's take a quick break. Josh is going to compose himself. We'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. Let's talk about the latest issue of Wonder Woman 827 or 27.
I feel like I haven't been caught sneezing on camera before. That felt new.
Not since my epic sneeze of the video show, where I basically flew off camera. Tom King, Daniel Sampere, who really is elevating himself with every issue into some sort of pantheon of current artists. This is part 5 of the Mouse Man saga, which I guess is not the end. It doesn't say the end, so it's to be continued. This was incredibly creepy and disturbing issue.
So as I was reading this, I almost forgot, that I was like, oh, there's a lot of things to talk about here. And so first of all, the early idea of whatever the first full issue, and most of the ones that came after, with the diminishing amount of Mouse Man speech. The first one was all Mouse Man. And you're like, what is this weird thing? Is this just playful? Is this whatever? And then as we sort of get through here, then we sort of understand how sinister it is. And then also there's a thing that happens in here, and there's a fight or something somewhere with when the little girl is being interrogated. And she gets in a fight, she's using the words. And what I thought was like, oh, this is also kind of an experiment. There's an improv game that people use, like when they're warming up, where they only have one word to use, and they try to communicate what they're saying. And that happens in here, where there's like a fight, and they're saying the words back. They're not saying any words, but you know exactly what's happening. You know what the words mean, which is, by the way, credit to Clayton Cowles for lettering it in a way that came across as well, along with the art and sort of what was happening. But where Wonder Woman goes after the guy, I guess he's like a cop, and he has the gun. He's, Mouse Man knows. Like, it works. They're communicating everything without using the actual words.
Yep.
And that's awesome. I think that's great. Second thing that's going on here is that there are multiple stories here where I think the political illusion is thinly veiled, and this is happening again. I kept wondering, I'm like, what do people know that like they must have, is he pissing half of everybody off or whatever? But there's still this idea like a strong man comes in, he's got no people respect his power, and that's kind of about it, or and he's got a ton of ego, and she's like, no more. And then finally the third element is just how her having this child, and now everybody's got kids, by the way, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, right, but it changed her. And the scene where she's throwing him through the successive walls,
yeah,
first of all, that was just brilliant action scene. Second of all, but it really it highlighted like her, no, we've gone too far now, and you'd be paying. She's not killing him, but you could see she'd be right there, and she orders him to her knees. And what I thought reading this was, I was like, man, I don't know that anybody's gotten Wonder Woman this right for this long. And I'm not thinking of that when I read it, because I just think, oh, this is Tom King doing Wonder Woman, so it's off to the side. But it isn't. This is Wonder Woman right now. Yeah. This is your main Wonder Woman, and I think
we said that though, like through his whole run, that it's felt like it's not of the larger DC, like the way that her whole what she went through with the whole Monarch story never would have gone down without the other heroes getting involved, and she's the only one that writes her like she's Gal Gadot got her speech patterns, like he's the only one that writes her like she's not speaking just English.
But I just think her bearing and her attitude are very. They remind me of, and I'm sure this is an influence, is the New Frontier Wonder Woman, which is the best I'd seen in forever. And I just think he's getting that right in a way that people haven't been able to do with Wonder Woman.
And this guy, I mean, I thought the young girl in this was great. I thought her arc's been interesting, but like she gets arrested and they try to interrogate her, and she stands up even though she gets beat up, and then she's got a great bit at the end where she stands up to everybody. It's just she's really interesting. The Mouse Man's creepy. The whole thing at the beginning was very overtly sexual, where he's like, get on your knees, and then she beats the fuck out of him. Like I finished this show, I was like, ugh, like I needed a shower in a good way, like because showers are nice, but like it's like it did a good job of conveying this level of girl, and there's a lot of nice stuff, and like my mice are gonna eat your kid, and the
whole
bodies and
the whole thing is knit together by Daniel Semper. The whole team. I mean, it really was like there you can see, wow, the letterer did something great in this. The colorist, Tomo Moret, like it's perfect. The way that the Wonder Woman stands over him, and her posture and her size.
I love that she's just taller than everybody all the time.
Yeah, and she's holding a gun. Like she's not gonna shoot him, but she's holding the gun. It's all just a little off, in a way that is conveying information indirectly.
He found an artist. I'm sure he found them, Daniel Semper, and Daniel Semper's another work, but he found someone who was in the same school as who was the other artist that was gonna do his other books but couldn't do more than one issue a year.
Clayman.
He found someone in the same school as Clayman who is getting to be in the realm of being as good as Clayman, but can do it on a monthly basis. It's incredible. Yeah. It's really incredible.
She doesn't use the gun, but she ricochets the bullet and it goes into him, and I was like, that's not a thing.
She basically goads him into shooting at her, and she bounces the bullet back into him.
And she can control that, I think, in this world. So
Oops.
She can kill him.
She's always been, portrayed, at least in the modern age, in Kingdom Come and other places, as being of the three trinity, of the one who's going to kill people if she puts her mind to it. And so that's fine. That's her character. She's an Amazon warrior.
This was great, and in the same way that with One World Under Doom, like it got better. Like, or it comes to, at first you're like, I'm not sure, and this is a Tom King thing.
Yep.
At the beginning, you're like, I don't know what this is, but you learn to trust. Like more often than not, when it comes together at the end, it's going to be successful and it's going to work. And I just like I was reading this issue, I was like, this is fantastic. Like you can see all the legwork that had been done ahead of time. And
now bring Steve Trevor back.
Yeah, I agree. Do they have a cosmic wacky button over there? Is it called something else?
They just can do it. Just do it. Yeah. Like it's stupid.
Use the plaid kryptonite.
This week we had the two big licensed Marvel books come out the same week. The first being Predator Kills the Marvel Universe. Someone over at Marvel really wants to burn it down. Story by Benjamin Percy and Arbor Marcella Ferrer. We're in the middle of this one. This is issue 4. I guess it'll be 5. They tend to be 5. It's got to be 5. The big cliffhanger here seems to be leading towards the end. But what did you think of this one?
Well, there was 2 that came out, and we're talking about one of them.
No, both. Next.
Oh, okay.
I added it.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep.
Was that not there before? It doesn't matter. I really liked it. Like, as I read through it, Ben Percy's a writer who I've enjoyed, but I don't like go after his name.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought, I think that the setup for all these has been really strong, and because luckily we know that this isn't in the main continuity, so sort of anything can happen, but the threat is kind of real in the same way, but a different flavor of how it was in the Alien when Jonathan Hickman did that, and all the it's like finding Batman's book of how to kill all the Justice League.
Right.
They go through here, and they're using the existing timeline of everything that we've seen in Predator and all sorts of other media, and it kind of works. And then Wolverine shows up, and I'm like, wow, why didn't I think of Wolverine before? This should have been one of the first things I thought of. And he actually does some good against them. And then you have a great scene with him and Nightcrawler, and then Spider-Man comes along to save the day, and it's just, you fucking heavy, dude. And I liked that little, just like a realistic thing, that popped into the world. I think the art is perfect for what this is, and I did not understand that Predator X, the Project X, which is the great Marvel sandwiching of concepts, was going to be on the side of Earth.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting.
Interesting they call him Predator. I have an exercise for everyone out there is take any line of dialogue that says Yutya, replace the word with Predator. The dialogue line is better. It just is. The word is more threatening. It has more.
Here's what you need to do though. You need to just accept it so that it is not stopping you from enjoying the book.
No, it's not at all. I'm just saying if you say the line out loud, Predator. The word Predator has more heft to it. Yutya sounds stupid. Predator means something. It means someone who kills its prey. And so when you say that, it sounds more menacing.
Mm-hmm.
It just does. And so I like that it's called Predator X, not Yutya X. So because there's no reason why they would call it Predator X.
Well, they don't know what they're called, so they said
we know it's Predator.
Yeah,
I thought this was good. I thought the Wolverine Nightcrawler stuff was particularly inventive, and of course they wouldn't be able to kill Wolverine. So even Craven wouldn't have a plan for Wolverine. Like he can't. So,
and I love that Craven's like, just leave Spider-Man for me. Like that's what he's all about.
That's his only rule.
Yep.
And they're having an easier time with these guys than they're having with the next one we're going to talk about. But we'll talk about that one in a second. Oops. All right. So in the other licensed book, this is the final issue of this volume anyway. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe #5 from Jerry Duggan and Javier Garron and Paco Medina and Juan Cabal. We had the whole cabal of artists doing this one.
Hello.
Which usually means something was late. I think aren't they teeing up a third volume of this? Isn't it like going cosmic?
It seemed, they put him on a planet far away, and they were told by Prophecy not to do that, and it turns out Prophecy was right. I don't think they got the message till later. That was the problem.
They also announced this week they're doing Marvel Universe crossing over with Planet of the Apes. It's a lot.
Yeah, maybe spread them out a little. Like maybe don't use all of the related properties in the vault at the same time, because like the thing you just said, I think this is the last one, or this is not, and I was like, I think one of them, like I thought Predator was like, wait, was that the last one? And then I was like, no, it was this, which is the exact same book, different tone entirely.
Yeah, this one's more wacky. In that there's that great scene in the Ant-Man movie where he uses his size to keep getting bigger and smaller, and they kind of play with that here, where they have Pym has a gun that can shoot objects that can make them big. So Captain America's shield gets used. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of fun, goofy elements to it. And I'd like the team ups like Thor and Magic together, using her teleportation to help with his, Mjolnir activities. I mean, this wasn't great, but ultimately I enjoyed it. They're very different. Predator is much darker and more menacing. This is more like silly.
Well,
Godzilla in this role is kind of silly.
It actually the whole thing is it kind of goes in contrast to what I was just saying, is because on the surface these books are the same, but they're very different. The tone is different. They're handled entirely different. They both, they're coming from completely different directions. I don't know. I don't like this as much. There's not something. I don't think it's bad. I don't think I like it. It's fine. But if I was to like stop reading, I don't think I'd miss it.
They didn't learn their lesson from Hulk. Just sending the beast to another planet doesn't solve your problem. They will come back.
Well, I thought it was funny is that they sent him to what was it? The Doctor Strange villain's land, Dormammu's realm, and like, and he got back from there. I was like, that seems harder to get back from than a planet in the universe. Traveling between universes should be more complicated. But I also like the idea that like he does just want to be alone, so let's put him somewhere he can be alone. And I got to tell, he looked like he was having a restful sleep.
He needs a nap, dude.
Yeah, that's why he's cranky.
And then it leads to a slightly homoerotic party at the Avengers Mansion.
Oh, you're right. I did have to bring this up. All right, we have a food situation to talk about here.
Oh, before we get to that, though, there is a warning at the end. I'd like this. There was a bit where Reed from the future sends him a mess, or somebody from the future. Who is it? Is it Reed or is it Johnny? No, Johnny from the future, long hair, beards, like, whatever you do, don't send Godzilla into space. Everyone will die. And then they're like, oh, shit. And then we see Null shows up, and he makes Godzilla into a Venom, even though that already happened in this book. But
this did. And I don't know that I need to go on. Anyway,
well, you might not have to.
So they send him, and then immediately days later, the Avengers Mansion, they're having a party.
Which, by the way, doesn't exist, but this is great. In this book, it's out of continuity. Even Falcon is Falcon in this book. He's not Falcon Cat.
Well, also, they apparently have a huge yard, and I was like, that doesn't. Yeah,
the Mansion was on Fifth Avenue.
There's no yard there. Like, I guess it could be the park, but
they could be Central Park across the street.
Nope, they're not.
We said parties in Central Park all the time.
But they're not. They're in the backyard of the mansion.
Yeah, that was.
It doesn't make sense.
That was a mistake.
Why is Johnny in a Speedo? It doesn't make sense. Is he trying to act like he kind of looked? If you recolored this, that's Namor, because that makes more sense. He's talking to Sue.
Oh, right.
I don't know. And then
it's a very small Speedo, and he's kind of cocked his hips at his sister, which is
So here's what
Steve's in a very tight, tucked in tank top with his pants.
There's a rough art change here. Yeah. This page is a rough art change, but more importantly, these people have never grilled anything. Whoever drew this,
is that bacon on the grill?
That's a big problem. There is bacon on the grill. You don't grill bacon. It doesn't work. No one does it. You do not build.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't go through this. I'm looking at it now. The full burgers on the bun with the toppings on it on the grill.
The table.
That's crazy.
In front of the grill? No, there's not a table in front of the grill. That's a work area. The lid's open.
Well, we see that on our show, so we can't complain about that.
This isn't a show. No, I mean, either way, no. The lid works. It could be fine. Spider-Man hanging.
It could be open because at that moment he's turning meat, so he needs the lid open.
Spider-Man, that's fine. I thought of it, but whatever. Spider-Man directly over the heated area. That's not gonna work.
He's cooking.
Yeah, that table really got me, and then I saw the bacon, and I was like, "What are those? Lamb? Like he's got bacon on either side." No.
Yeah, the bacon's gonna fall in.
None of it doesn't cook. You cook bacon. It's fat renders. It's.
Who is? Oh, it was Bruce. At the bottom of the page, Reed's talking to somebody. They don't really do a good job of. Well, I guess he says Bruce, but at first I was like, "Who is that?"
They all have their shirts tucked in a weird way.
They all have their shirts tucked in. Everyone's got their shirts tucked in.
They're dressed like mobsters from the 60s. Like They all look like the guys from that barbecue and
Where's Polly?
Goodfellas with the bulldog.
Yeah, it's weird. They're all. You're right. They're all their pants are tucked in, and they all have belts on.
The thing is about the cold cock Thor in the background. What is the outfit? What is this outfit that T'Challa has on? What is that?
It's resort wear. I
don't think that the Black Panther is going to eat a plate of all that processed meat. I don't think he's doing it.
He's got two hot dogs, a hamburger, and something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe a third patty just on its own.
It did make me think of Chadwick Boseman on Black Jeopardy saying, "Do I get the feeling this food is not seasoned?" It made me think of that.
I enjoyed reading it, but I mean, there are things.
No, that page is a gift. Please.
So we had another big Marvel crossover event this week. We had DC Marvel Batman Deadpool #1. This was written by Grant Morrison, art by Dan Mora. The main story, there's a bunch of backup stories like the last one that Marvel did. And I have to say, this was I enjoyed it, but I thought the Marvel, I don't want to compare. I mean, it's hard not to, but I thought the Marvel one was more successful. I thought that story was more fun and had better short stories. This one was more interesting and had only one really good backstory. The other ones were just sort of fine. But the one good one was really good. What Morrison does here is get super meta and super like fourth wall breaking, which is fine. Morrison pioneered that in a way with
Deadpool,
and so Deadpool does that, and Deadpool turns to mimics the page from Animal Man. If you're going to do that, the person who wrote that page gets to do it. There is a funny running joke where Batman keeps going, "Are you sure you're not Deathstroke?" And he's like, "No, I'm Wade Wilson, not Slade Wilson." So there are funny bits like that, but it's mostly, the story's not nearly as fun as the first one. Although Grant Morrison does, Cassandra Nova shows up. So they kind of tied into the movie where the TVA gets involved and Cassandra Nova sticks her hands into Batman and Deadpool's head.
She's a Grant Morrison creation, isn't she?
I think so. They do a lot of amalgam stuff. Batman gets shot full of arrows. They throw him into a Lazarus pit. He comes out as Dark Claw, the amalgam version of Batman and Wolverine from the amalgam story. And then it all is topped off by Grant Morrison. Damian does show up for one page, which I was curious about, but then Grant Morrison shows up as a character in the book. So it's a lot of fourth wall meta stuff. The real reason to read this story or this issue, there's the Hellblazer, Doctor Strange team up with from James Tynion IV, Joshua Williamson, and Scott Snyder, all on writing duties, with art by Hayden Sherman. Beautiful looking. I would love Hayden Sherman to draw a Doctor Strange book. Great draw Doctor Strange. There's a Harley Quinn Hulk story from Mariko Tamaki and Amanda Connor, which was fine. There's a Static and Miss Marvel story from G. Willow Wilson and Dennis Cowan. Fine. There's a Nightwing and Laura Kinney crossover story from Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. And that was excellent. I mean, that was one of the best things I read this week. It's two of them hanging out, talking about being, not the main guy, but the Nepo babies of the main guy. And it was a very fun thing. They have to save Laura's sister from Killer Croc, and that's just the action. But it's really about them hanging out. They're having Chinese food with Barbara and they're just having a good time. But they have a really heartfelt conversation, and it ends with a really great panel of them on the roof. It just was an excellent, and it felt very much like the Tom Taylor Nightwing, which has been long and well, it's
sorely missed.
Sorely missed. So these books have been great. I mean, they're worth reading. They're novel. They're fun. I think they're doing more of them. It's worked out. We're happy the companies are involved again with each other again and not hating each other. And so,
what's the last time we saw? When's the last time we saw Grant Morrison do comics?
Was it the Green Lantern? I don't remember.
With Liam Sharp, that one? God, it might be.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. But Grant's always doing stuff in Hollywood and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just interesting.
I don't know what it is. Let's you do this part. It says me in the script. You do it.
I saw it was you and I got excited, but that's fine. Hey, Yeah, we are listener supported and viewer and listener. We are whoever takes this in through their face somehow. You support us. Go to
Whatever face
patreon.com.
hole you use,
Yeah,
that's how we get in.
If you, I mean, you don't smell the show, but you know what? We're not bad smelling men. I'll tell you that much right now.
That's true.
Patreon.com.
Talk about how great showers were earlier.
Yeah. I don't even mean like we smell particularly, but we're not offensive. There's men out there. I've been around him. He doesn't stink. I don't. Where was I? We're listener supported. Directly support the show. Patreon.com/iFanboy. You become part of a great community on Discord and Facebook. You can vote for the patron pick. You can get patron power live on the show at the $5 level higher.
Yes. Yep.
Join the monthly patron hangout. That is the thing that happens at $10 or higher. You get an ad-free version of all of our shows. There's a podcast feed for that. It's not like you have to go and grab it and whatever. It happens automatically, just like your podcast always had. So I think that's a big win for you, not for us. We'd lose that ad revenue. But and as you get the pick of the week show a day early. And then you will get access to the iFanboy after show on Sundays, where we talk about all the books that didn't make this rundown. There is a discount if you sign up for 1 full year at a time, and you can send or receive gift memberships in that format. That's and then that's all at patreon.com/iFanboy. iFanboy.threadless.com is our merch store. There are 23 designs. That's a lot on t-shirts and more. I was going through them the other day and I was like, oh, all right. Oh yeah, this one. I like this.
I've been using the most recent one, 3/4 length baseball shirt as a sleep shirt as the weather's turned, and it's been very comfortable to sleep in.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
So go there, not just shirts, but all if it is shirts, still also a lot of different kinds of shirts. We're big fans of the tri blend. iFanboy.com/support is the PayPal link. You can go there. If you're like, I want to contribute, but I don't want to deal with any of that stuff, that is the place to do it. iFanboy.com/Amazon has a general shopping link. It's an affiliate link. Holidays are coming up. You're going to buy stuff. If you're going to buy stuff from there, we would appreciate it if you went through our link, because it helps us and it costs you nothing. If that works for you, please do so. No harsh feelings if not. I mean, a little bit. iFanboy.com and then finally bookshop.org is it's what we use to link books to when they are available, so that when you order a book, it comes from an aggregate of local booksellers, presumably in the US. I don't know. I was going to say that, but I thought of it. I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's only US.
Yeah. So, and I want to acknowledge there are people here who are not from the US. And what I would also say to you, what does citizenship application look like?
1/4 of you, I think, is last time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So we will try not to continue not being so centric of where we live. But I'm going to tell you, if you lived in America, you would understand how easy it is to think that America is the only place in the world.
It's really big.
We got to work at it. Yeah, that's true too.
So, yeah. There's a moment in the next book we're going to talk about, which is Powers 25, number 3. So it opens up at a page where a young boy is being questioned by the police. Not questioned, but they're talking to the police. His family is missing or hurt or something. And
his mom did something to his dad. I think his dad's dead.
But he's not under suspicion. I mean, he's just been talking. Right. And it's a POV shot from the cop to the kid, and so we just see the kid's face in a bunch of panels, and you don't know who's talking. And then I turn the page, and it's fucking Christian Walker, primetime Christian Walker, and then it's also Dina Pilgrim, primetime Dina Pilgrim, and it says 25 years ago, and I yelped. I literally yelped.
And it wasn't even like 25 years ago flashback. That's the actual time.
Right. Yeah. But I was just so happy to see them in their prime. These are the two characters we fell in love with originally, and I was hoping it would be an entire flashback, but it wasn't. That was just the one cameo they had. But I thought this was just good. I thought it was good. New character. We follow him. He's the little kid as he ages, and he finds he's got powers, and he joins the police force, and he has got this strange relationship with Retro Girl, who was the murder victim in the very first Powers arc, who killed Retro Girl.
She's really interesting. I like spending time with her, which we didn't get to do a lot before. I think there were different versions of her.
We didn't really know
the one who got killed. No, we don't. And I thought,
there was the dead one, and the one who came after. We didn't really know.
She was really self-possessed and interesting in this, I thought.
I love the scene where they're having dinner at like a food truck place. Has all these tables, and they're having dinner. And at one point, she flies off to save somebody, and the kid's like, "Are you on a date with Retro Girl?" He's like, "I don't know." Like, it was just like really, well done. Like it was. I like their relationship. And
this this issue, and there was nothing wrong with the ones that came before it, but this one, even the art was giving me that, oh yeah, you know, and I think that it is the right choice to do a story now 25 years later, and those characters would not still be around, and like, some of them are, but we're not just like, and then, you know, another Christian Walker Dina Pilgrim adventure. This is right, but it does take a little while to settle into. I don't know how long they're going to go with this or whatever, but it works. It's working. I really did get that. I was like, oh yeah, this is the oming that really like made a huge impact on me at one time.
I just love those characters, and it's strange to think it. I hadn't really thought about it. And Dina's been in this book, just a older, different version of her. So when I literally went, oh, like when I saw it was them, and they were young and fancy free, and nothing hurt, and you know, it just says it was 25 years ago. I took a flyer on Nova Centurion #1. Both
I thought, yeah, Nova Centurion #1's by Jed MacKay and Alvaro Lopez. This in
the color's name.
Looks like Mattia Iacono, I would say. Mattia?
Yeah,
Mattia?
That's what I thought too.
Iacono. Corey Pettit on letters.
Mattia.
In the, what was the Imperial? That was the Jonathan Hickman sort of Imperial thing. The basically at the end of it, everybody agreed on a lie except for Nova, and he said, "This is bullshit, and I'm out of here." Which is, there's some other movie or something where that happens.
Yeah.
And they kill that person.
They usually kill that person.
Yeah. There's something really specific in the episode.
Also, or the end of Watchmen. That's also how that goes too.
Oh, I mean, that is what that is. Yeah. It's, I mean, that might be what I'm thinking of. Is that Rorschach is like, we can't, and then the journals in the mail.
It also happened in the movie.
Anyway, yeah, well, the movie was.
That's what I mean, the Watchmen movie.
Yeah, he took no liberties there. He just, the only liberty he took was that a quarter of the movie was the first issue.
Oh, quid.
Oh yeah,
we don't relitigate the movie.
Yeah.
So this anyway, this was I just want to say I didn't read. You and Ron were super into the 2000s era Marvel cosmic books, Nova, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then there was the whole Annihilation stuff. Was there another cosmic book or just those three? There was Nova, Guardians of the Galaxy, and there was Annihilation sagas. And I always wanted to read them, and I had, because you guys talked about all the time how much fun they were, and I felt like I've missed the boat. And I had all those trades in my Amazon wishlist for like 20 years, and
then you went, "It's not happening."
Never bought them.
That's fair.
You know, this is for retirement. And then I wasn't going to read this originally when I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I liked Nova. I liked him in the book. I'll give it a shot. So I did. I liked it.
I thought it was fun. You know, the idea is that there's only one Nova left, which always happens. There's only one Green Lantern left. There's it's green. By the way, Nova's Green Lantern. It's not.
100%.
And he you know, has the world. He has like a copy of the World Mine, and the World Mine is his kit, or his who's the Firestorm head, the professor.
Professor.
Yeah, the guy in his head who's like, or any of Tony Stark's digital assistants.
Someone to talk to.
You know, it's like, just so you know, we've only got 2/3 of our battery left, and he's like, well, we got to save the ship. And so there was a really fun, ridiculous cosmic solution to saving a passenger liner, and then this. And then the World Mine says, like, what you're planning is really expensive. And I ticked on it. I was like, that's interesting to say. Why would you say it's expensive? What is that? And at the end, you learn that, like, this costs him whatever, space bucks, money. And he has to go onto the boat and ask to pass around the hat so he can pay for the thing. And then predictably, everybody's like, who does this fucker think he is? Because they're entitled to superheroes saving them. And I was like, that's really awful. But
they make Nova
interesting
into sort of a Spider-Man, as he needs money now.
Yeah,
he needs to pay for World Mind, because if World Mind, the battery reaches 0, then it goes away, and all the combined knowledge of whatever the fuck is lost, and so he has to do jobs for money now. And Pip
can't not superhero,
right? And Pip becomes his agent, and he's got to do all these jobs for money he hates. And so the big thing is he goes on this big job. This also, he's wearing a New Warriors cap, which is very much from the Tom Taylor Nightwing, where he's putting characters into the logo, and now it's spread over everywhere. He gets a job where he has to go to I was very confused at first. They said the Kree Skull War, and I was like, what? And it turns out that was the name of a gang I kind of liked.
Oh, it was great. I thought it was interesting because it didn't make sense, and then when it did, I see why it was being talked about this way, and it's just a cool concept.
So it's run by one Kree and one Skrull who are in a relationship, and they run this gang, and they want him to do something. And I thought it was super compelling and fun, and I like the art from Alvaro Lopez quite a bit. I don't like Nova wearing jackets and vests over his suit, but I guess that's the thing he's always done. But
He's had jackets for a while for sure. Just like again, like Hal Jordan with his flight jacket or whatever.
I just like him looking like this.
It's like him being in a rough position, though. You're like, oh, I don't want to see that. But I was like, it's a great story, and it makes sense. It checks out, and he doesn't like it either. So that's that's where drama comes from. It was really good. I was very pleased with it.
I was happy to read it, and I'm glad I read it, and it was fun. So those are the books we're going to talk about. But at patreon.com/iFanboy, every patron gets a vote to add a book to the rundown. And this week, a pretty healthy margin based on some vote whipping over in the Discord. The winner was Nocturnals, the Sinister Path #3, with story and art by Dan Brereton and letters by Lois Buhalis. This is from Dark Horse Comics. This is the third issue of 4 of this miniseries, which chronicles a saga that began in 1994, the first Nocturnal story. And apparently, because I am no expert, this has been told in a series of miniseries ever since. So this is sort of like Hellboy, in that it's been telling this saga for 2004, 2014 to 31 years. So that's impressive.
So we have here the third issue of a 4-issue miniseries that's part of a 30+ year ongoing story.
Correct.
So it's really putting us to the test, because what we've always said is that, especially in mainstream superhero comics where there's a continuity, you should kind of be able to pick up an issue and read it at any point, which has gotten rarer over the years as we've gone into the 6-5 issue story. So that's what they do. So we issued the challenge to the patrons at some point, like, just give us a random issue somewhere, and that is a thing that happened here. And I don't know that I can hold a mini series to that same standard, but go ahead.
Especially the third issue. I mean, I don't think it was confusing in terms of the action on the page. All of what I read made sense. The context, obviously, I don't know. The characters, I don't know why anything's important. But what they did on the page, I followed everything that happened. I don't know who all the characters are and how they relate to each other, but everything that happened, I didn't have a problem reading.
Just real quick, why don't you give us a summary? What happened?
Well, I can tell. I mean, the action, I can tell you. There was a bunch of sexy
What
ghosts.
Are they?
Sexy beasts.
What are they?
I don't know. The fuck, vampires, and I don't know. But they get in conflict, and it turns out one of them has the toys of the other one from their kid, and then they go to this other guy, and he's the dad of one of them, and he gets killed, and then he shoots one. Like, I can tell you the scene action. It doesn't have any context. I was really impressed with the art. I really loved the art. It had a very sort of painterly 50s and 60s mid-century horror comics, but not the EC style. More of like what you see on the painted cover of like a horror novel in the mid-century, where all the beasts are sexy, and they've got skimpy outfits or 60s clothes. And
I see it as like the box art on those 12-inch tall monster toys.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what it looked like to me.
I liked it a lot. I was really impressed with the art. The color's beautiful. If it's hand done, I mean, it's all hand done. But if it's painted, would be awesome. But it could very well be done on computer. I don't know anymore. I can't tell with this kind of thing. But I was really impressed by that. It was harder to gauge whether the story was good or not. I think it was successful in that I was able to follow. I wasn't lost. I wasn't angry reading it like some of these other ones we've had to read. I didn't dislike it.
No, I don't think I didn't either. But I didn't really know.
To be fair and to be transparent, I did read it twice. The first time I read it, nothing stuck, and it was like, okay. And then we had a little bit of extra time, and as I read it again, so that might have helped.
I have a hard time knowing what to say I made of it, because I don't know what I did. It is definitely a thing where it's an aesthetic, and I think that it's an aesthetic that is very attractive to people. It's not necessarily something I was like, this is totally not for me.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, like, I've had to read other things where I was like, I can't get through this. I don't know, but no, but I didn't have that problem. I could follow it, but I didn't really have a context for who, like, I was like, I don't know who the bad guy is. I don't know who the protagonist is. I was like,
There are definitely two factions, because there was the red jacket dude and then the sexy monster lady,
right,
who had feathers, but also, I don't know.
Like the one guy, you thought they were
Really does
attacking an old man and they shot him. I was like,
crunches.
oh, so maybe they're the bad guys. And it was like, no, he was an asshole. Okay. And then the one lady thinks she had a baby or didn't. I don't know.
And she was one of the toy. I just was like, I'm not going to worry about the context. I don't know the context. I'm just going to read this as a here is an issue. Can you follow what's going on? And I think so. I mean, from a very surface level story, not from anything else. But yeah, but I mean, this isn't my thing, but I thought it was really well done. If this is your thing, you probably really like it. I know they're big fans of Nocturnals. I don't think I've ever seen an issue of it myself. This is the section of the comic store where my eyes don't. They don't.
It's definitely. It's I actually didn't know the property. I knew the name Dan Brereton because we know a lot of things, and I knew that, like, he's a guy who's been doing stuff, I say this respectfully, off to the side for a very long time, like an Elf Quest kind of thing. Yeah. I think I thought that was,
I had the same thought. It was like very much like Elf Quest. Yeah.
Which I don't like. I wouldn't pick this up if it came out today. It's just not. I don't care. But I don't hate it. I don't whatever. But I do have a hard time telling you. I'd be curious, like, if you're way into this and you've been reading it forever, like, do you think this is a great miniseries? I'm just curious. I'd be curious. Like,
it could be the latest in the long. Right. There could have been 3 of them this year. Who knows? I don't know.
Like, we read a Hellboy last week, and we're like, this was great. Or is it more like
Hellboy?
Or is it more, right? I know what I'm saying. So if you're like a Nocturnals person who's been following them for decades or whatever, we're like, this is great. Or is it more like a Usagi Yojimbo thing where you're like, yep, it's another one. This is what I came for. It's great, right. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Would it be funny if, like, people are like, no, this is like the worst.
We're in a fallow period.
Nocturne. Yeah. I don't know.
So it's going to be interesting rating. This ratings on Nocturnals, The Sinister Path, number 3 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 3. Like, normally I guess I'd probably give 2.5, but I really like the art, so I'm going to bump it up just a bit for that. I did like looking at it. I thought it was really nicely done. Again, even if it's not my thing, I thought it was, like, if you're watching a video, you can see the cover. I think the style is really nice and clean, and it's got that, as Josh said, that sort of monster box look. That sort of novel, pulp novel look to it, which I really like.
2.8. I can't really give it a 3 because I can't tell you why I liked it, which puts it above but it's not a fail. It's not whatever. It's just, like, it seemed to do its work well. I hope people enjoy this. Like I said, I read it. I was fine with it. I didn't fall asleep. Which has happened. It has happened, and 100%. That didn't happen here. But I will say, like, if there's anything interesting about it, it was like, well, what is it about this that has let it be around for 31 years that, is still able to keep going? That was sort of the thing I was looking for. But I think a lot of that has to do with aesthetic.
Sure.
And I guess he does this aesthetic really well.
Sticking with it, you reading number 4?
Nope.
No, I'm not either. Nothing against the book or the people or the fans. It's just not didn't grab me enough. And would you have read this if it wasn't Patron Pick? No.
I wouldn't have known of its existence.
I didn't. We not being fans of this kind of Hellboy aside, not really being fans of horror stuff for the most part.
This isn't. I mean, it's a very far cry from.
What I mean is when we get this press pack from Dark Horse, there's a whole section of it. My eyes just glaze over.
It's
just not my thing. I don't even look, which is how I miss things.
I didn't know where it was, and then I looked up and I was like, "Oh, Dark Horse." So, like, clearly I've been seeing this for years, and I just never noticed it once because right away the title was like Nocturnals, and I'm like, eh.
Patreon.com/iFanboy. So thanks for voting. If you're a patron, every patron gets a vote, but if you give it the $5 or higher level, you get a superpower live on the show, like Josh. And funny enough, usually I think we're on the opposite sides of the screen, but this time you got the Chiron right under your name.
I'm just gonna. It depends what you say, but I'm gonna take this one too.
Okay, so whoever this mysterious Josh is, Josh's power is that they have an innate knowledge and a perfect knowledge of every instruction book or guide ever written. So every product, everything,
every language.
I'm saying but
all time.
All time. It could be a product. It could be a game, one of those super complex board games with like an inch thick how-to manual. Josh knows it all by heart. Josh is your man. You want to play that crazy board game? Josh will lead you through it. You want to fix that thing? Josh has the instructions memorized. He's got them all. And when a new one comes out, it's just boom. It's in there. It's in the brain, the brain pan. It's got them all. And calls them up.
Can he explain to me exactly how Sabbath mode works on my oven? Because
probably.
That's a thing.
If it's in the instruction book.
He could probably get through the handbook for the recently deceased. That would be helpful.
He'd be really helpful for the Greatest American Hero.
Yeah.
He's got everything. Mm-hmm. So Josh is your man, all your products and all your games.
I mean, as a homeowner, that is perfect. Mm-hmm. I wrote some down today because I was at the end of my list.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about what's going to move forward. I think one of them is going to make you laugh. But
you got one more this year, and then you got to hold those for next year.
Yeah, I didn't
start banking them.
I don't throw them away.
Patreon.com/iFanboy. Thanks, Josh, for being a patron. If Josh is indeed your real name. The email we have this week is not a
There are a lot of us.
There are dozens of us. There's
dozens.
The email this week is a question and a suggestion. Not a question. It's a
I'm not taking suggestions.
It's for you. It's actually for you.
Okay.
It's a fun fact and a suggestion. So the email comes from Miguel C from Duvall, Washington. He says, I wanted to share some info with you that you may already be aware of. I know you're all familiar with the G.I. Joe character Storm Shadow, who is part of the Arashikage Ninja clan. Did you know that the Arashikage is made of two Japanese words, Arashi, meaning storm, and Kagi, meaning shadow? I've been thinking about this since reading Scarlet #2 last year, when the head of the Arashikage is speaking Japanese, which is translated into English via the arrow brackets, and he mentioned Storm Shadow by name, and then the Arashikage in the same sentence, leading me to wonder how he would have worked that in Japanese so as not to be confusing. So I didn't know the Arashikage clan was just Storm Shadow. I have some good colleagues in Japan in our Japanese office I'm very close with, and I was going to ask them about this, but we recorded it early. And so they're not quite awake yet. But if we had recorded the regular time, I was going to send them an email with this saying, what would you do here?
Well, I'm going to need you to follow up on that. That's interesting. I mean, I'm going to just take it for granted that that's a true thing.
You can write in whatever you want, guys, and we'll believe it.
Yeah. Well, Larry Hama's Japanese.
Yeah, we do no fact checking here. We just you write in and say this is what this means. We're like, oh.
Yeah, and he's older, so he probably had some connection. I don't know. I guess he did that on purpose, but it's weird because it's the same name.
Although Storm Shadow was the scion of the clan, right? Like he was the firstborn son, so maybe they named him after the clan because he was going to be the man of the clan until Snake Eyes showed up and took it from him.
I mean, they can't go around calling him Tommy.
So Miguel's email continues. Also, I have some book recommendations for Josh since he's developed an interest in feudal Japan thanks to the new Shogun series. I highly recommend Taiko and Musashi, two historical fiction novels by Eiji Yoshikawa. The first one focuses on the feudal lords during the Warring States period around the same time as Shogun. The second one focuses on the famous swordsman Miyamoto Musashi and is set a few years after the Warring States period. Both hew much closer to historical fact than Shogun, but are just as riveting. They're also just about as long, so good luck.
Oh boy. I know I have Musashi on my list. I had not found Taiko. I believe that Usagi Yojimbo is somewhat based on Musashi because it's Miyamoto Usagi is his name.
Miyamoto.
Usagi means rabbit, and then Miyamoto because Yojimbo is not his name. Yojimbo is I forget a type of like samurai. It might be another word for Ronin. I don't think that's exactly right. Either way, I appreciate that. I will. I love a historical fiction novel.
Josh, and yes, write the name down.
I'm still reading. I'm going through. You can see some of them, but like I'm going through both two versions of Usagi Yojimbo. I have the original collection from the early days, and then everything from Dark Horse forward. And I'm still reading. I'm pretty close to the end of Lone Wolf and Cub, which I can't put down. And I have started watching the Lone Wolf and Cub movies.
Oh, yes. Josh has sent me opinions on those or text. So thanks, Miguel, for writing, and that was fun. You don't have to write a question. Sometimes it's about fun facts and recommendations. I appreciate
it's funny about Shogun because like reading the book, like it's really easy, and white people have been making this mistake for years, thinking this is history, and I was like, nope, it's a British guy telling you a
guy's
story.
version of history.
Like, and in my head, I'm just like, this is how it was. I'm like, nope, it's a little sexier than real life. Like,
yeah.
Oh, there's just beautiful women to service all of the men who come along constantly. I see. No, I mean, it's a little.
So, Miguel wrote
it's a little imperial.
Contact at iFanboy.com. You can write it to get on the show or write it for our Media Split show, but Media Split in the subject line. We have a couple more weeks for your emails, and after that, we hit our yearly refresh. We take all the emails we didn't answer, we put them in a folder, and we start fresh from new. So while we're on break, if you want to get on the early shows, that's when you send them in. What other shows do we have to talk about? Last month, we had Josh's Jason Fabok Talksplode.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we had our Media Splode the year and mailbag. We answered a bunch of emails that have built up in the Media Splode mailbag. This past week, we had another Talksplode. Josh talked to Chris Eliopoulos, who showed up on our episode 1000 show, old friend of the show. I'm looking forward to listening to
that. Yeah, no, I was really happy with it. I always say that or whatever, but Chris
Reports there were tears on it.
Huh?
There were tears in the show.
I know what he was talking about. I think one of the listeners had said like, so there's a part where that works. I think
emotional.
Yeah, the effect of the every Ordinary People Change the World series on some people. Chris is a great storyteller. He has a lot of stories. It's a guy whose career has spanned many different eras of comics, and this he's in his sort of second career now. And we get into some lettering shit. Oh, it's good.
We love it. We love lettering shit.
I'd be like, and Richard did this. I was like, he's talking about Starkings.
Did you tell the listeners that so they know who he's talking about as your job as an interviewer?
No, I was wrapped. You know what? A little part of me is just like, just tell the story. If you can't follow along, you don't deserve these gems.
No, you had your job as an interviewer to be like Starkings. You need Starkings.
I made up my own resume. I don't know what that means.
So that was last week. You can find it behind this show on all the feeds. That means it's time for the update of the holiday schedule. We have 3 picks of the week left. We have 3 special editions left. So 6 shows left this year until we go on holiday break. Next week, November 30th, we'll have our Pick of the Week 1005. And then that following Thursday, December 4th, we'll have our Pick of the Week 1000 emails show. We've already recorded it. It's already edited. It's already in the system. You're going to get it. December 7th, Pick of the Week 1006. December 14th, Pick of the Week 1007. And then that following Thursday, December 18th, Booksplode on the Private Eye from Brian K. Vonham. And I almost said the name who wasn't the artist, Marcos Martin. And then that Sunday, wow. That Sunday, December 21st, will be the All Media Year and Roundup, our annual show that we've been doing since the very first, like 3 months after we started the show, we did an All Media Year and Roundup. We've been doing it from the very beginning. That'll be our last show of the year. Play it during our holiday parties. Play it on Christmas morning. Play it on New Year's Eve. People will love it. We guarantee it. We don't guarantee it. Then our holiday break happens, and we return Sunday, January 11th with Pick of the Week 1008. A little bit later than we like to normally return, but this week, all the holidays are on Thursday, and it really throws everything off this month or this year. So it's really going to be a problem. So anyway, that's the holiday schedule. We'll be back that time. In the meantime, you can find our library of almost 1,500 shows over at iFanboy.com, wherever podcasts are sold. Never miss a show. Find out what the Pick of the Week is before the show comes out by following us at iFanboy Comics on Instagram and Threads, and iFanboy.com on Blue Sky. And follow us individually at CS Kilpatrick on Instagram and J.A. Flanagan on Instagram. And don't forget to find our former writer Jeff Reed's video deep dives into forgotten comic book history every Tuesday and Friday across our social channels and on YouTube. But not Blue Sky.
No. Please consider writing a review for us, just in general. Or leave a star rating, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is you get your podcasts. If there is a method for doing that, please do so. And be honest, unless it's really bad, and then you don't have to say a thing. I don't see. Just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. I'm talking to you. You don't like my show. What do I care what you think? If you're listening on Pocket Cast, you should be subscribed and have listened a few. I'm so tough. Anytime I act tough, you can.
Have you ever been in a fight?
Positive.
When you were a kid?
Not really.
Schoolyard fight?
I got punched once, and I've been chased. I've definitely been chased. Chris Havener, he was a little guy, but he had big rat teeth. Scared the hell out of me.
Like Mouse Man.
Yeah. Not really though. I'm not.
You're a lover. You're not a fighter. You're a lover.
Yeah. Subscribe to youtube.com/iFanboy, where you can watch the video version of what you're listening to now if you're listening to it, or apparently you've already done that and you're watching it. Smash those buttons, as it were. Do they still say that? You can also find our special.
They like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And they say that stuff. So do that.
Over on the YouTube will be other places where you can get Jeff Reed's comic book deep dive videos, and of course the archive of all the old video shows we did from 2007 to 2012. There's the iFanboy after show, which will be on if the patrons $10 or higher, you can get that, where we talk about all the books that we didn't talk about, that we read this week, that we didn't just talk about in the previous hour. Patreon.com/iFanboy. If you want to look into that, it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes last week. So before we go, I did want to mention that Jeff Reed did a video a couple weeks ago where he tried to make the case that Superman didn't have a mullet in the 90s, and I had to disavow that on the pages. That it was his opinion, not ours, because clearly it was a mullet.
Yeah.
And we know we're the comic book mullet experts. You may not know this. Only longtime fans have known this. There was only one of them, and that name, his game was Gabe. All right. Until next week, my name is Connor.
I'm Josh.